The wife of former Ravens running back Ray Rice broke her silence today, one day after a video surfaced of her being knocked unconscious in a hotel elevator.
Janae Palmer took to Instagram to defend Rice, who she married a month after the assault. Her post reads in part, "No one knows the pain that the media and unwanted opinions from the public has caused my family. To make us relive a moment in our lives that we regret every day is a horrible thing." Shannon is an expert on domestic violence, and she is the executive director of DAYS, Domestic Abuse Intervention Services. Welcome to Live at 5, Shannon. Good to see you. I think some people may find it unsettling that a victim defends her abuser, especially when there is video of the abuse.
Right, absolutely. I think it can be really difficult if one doesn't work in this field or one has never experienced domestic violence to understand why that might happen. But I think it's really important for your viewers to remember that domestic violence is a very complicated issue. And oftentimes, you know, victims are put in these positions where they have to defend their batterers in a very public manner in order to prevent potentially future violence that could be more severe. And I think especially with this case, you know, there has been so much media attention on this particular couple and on this incident that I think that the victim is really kind of put in that position of having to defend him, because we know that domestic violence batterers will often escalate their violence when they feel a loss of status or a loss of power. And I think that, you know, certainly I can imagine that Mr. Rice is feeling that right now with the intense media focus on him.
So how do you break that cycle?
Well, I think it's really important, you know, as a community, I think we have opportunities when we see these kinds of things, and when we have people like Janae who are stating these kinds of things, to not automatically jump to blaming the victim and to saying, well, why didn't she just leave? You know, the reality is that it's the most dangerous time for domestic violence victims is when they try to separate from the batterer. They're 6 times more likely to be killed than at any other time. And so I think we have the opportunity to change that question from why doesn't she just leave to why is he perpetrating this violence, or why is she perpetrating the violence if you have a female abuser. So it really, I think, sends a strong message to those who are continuing to live with domestic violence in their homes, that as a community we don't blame them and we won't minimize the violence that's happened to them when they do come forward and report.
And in our community, we're very lucky. For people who are watching tonight who are either victims of this or know someone who is, we have a lot of resources in Dane County to support victims of domestic abuse. You have a new shelter that just opened and a hotline. Tell us a little bit about that.
So anybody who wants to use any of our services would call our 24-hour helpline, which is 251-4445, and that number is also available for concerned friends and family members who may not know how to talk to someone in their life who might be dealing with domestic violence.
And at least it's got the conversation going nationally about domestic abuse.
Right, and I think that, you know, the NFL has a great opportunity right now to demonstrate what they want to do moving forward in terms of preventing this issue and intervening more appropriately and more quickly when these kinds of things happen.
Shannon, thanks for being with us today.
Thank
Good
you.
information.
Thanks for coming in.